Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. It's day 2 now of the tampering period. And yesterday, there was a lot of action on the Miami Dolphins side. A lot of people are gone, added some additions. I would like to take this time to make sure I would like to thank Kristen Wilkins, Brandon Jones, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Robert Hunt. Thank you for your time with the Miami Dolphins. Wish you well, but, as the old saying goes, they're no longer wearing the aqua and orange, so I'm going to concentrate on the players that will be wearing the aqua and orange for my Miami Dolphins. I know a lot of people don't like the Aaron Brewer signing, but if you look into it a little more, I think he's a good fit for what the Dolphins do. I think he's a really good zone scheme fit. He gets down the field. Yes, he allowed some pressures. At least, we got a quarterback that can get rid of the ball quick. But we also have an offensive line that maybe can, coach that can help him not give up as many pressures. But he's really good against the run. I think he's a good signing for the Dolphins, and I think he will be our center moving forward. He has position versatility, which I know the Dolphins like. In 2023, he played all snaps at center. It was his first year playing all snaps at center. Seems to be like the center of the Miami Dolphins, barring Connor Williams getting healthy and coming back or drafting someone that can play it. In 2022, he played 108 snaps at left guard and 123 at center. So as recent as 2022, he was predominantly a left guard. Again, this gives you, flexibility to move him around the line. In 2021, he played right guard, left guard, and only 13 snaps at center. But he played a lot of snaps at right guard and a lot of snaps at left guard in 2021. So once again, he's never played tackle. So other than that, he's kind of like an Eichenberg in that he's flexible, but I think he's a little bit better than Eichenberg, and he would definitely start at center over Eichenberg, all things considered there. So there is hope. I like that move overall. I really do. What can I say? He's been with the Titans. We signed him to a 3-year, $21 million contract. The huge money that Robert Hunt got, leaving the Dolphins. But I think it's a good signing. I like it. It seems to be like the most one that Dolphins are upset with, but I actually like the move, and I think he can improve our offensive line and be a rock in the center of the line. Good morning, Timothy watching. Good morning, Hooked Up Joe. And Scotty and Franklin Stubbs in the Back It Up Fins podcast. Big fins up for you guys rolling into the room today. I appreciate it. Now, the one that's basically, you could say is like a typical Chris Greer signing for those that like to pick on Chris Greer a little bit. Anthony Walker, good player, when healthy, from South Florida down here. He played at Monzor, I can never say that word, Pace High School down in my neck of the woods. Solid player when healthy. That's the disclaimer. When healthy. He's battled with injuries the past couple seasons. He's really good in coverage. And I don't think he's came in. I think the next linebacker I'm going to get to is the one that's coming in to replace Jerome Breaker. But Anthony Weaver's another guy when healthy. I hate that disclaimer in Miami Dolphin land because we use it way too often. But when healthy, the man can get the job done and play. So I like that move. And he's a former 5th-round pick. And like I said, he was from South Florida. Jordan Brooks. This is like the one that seems to have the Dolphin fans most happy. Seahawk fans seems upset. He's gone. He was a first round pick. So he joins like Tua and Austin Jackson as first round picks of the 2020 draft that comes to the Miami Dolphins. So Jordan Brooks from Seattle, he comes there and he seems to get pretty much rave reviews. He seems to be like a guy that should help. I know some people say, just looked at his PFF numbers and say, oh, he's not great in coverage. But a couple guys I listened to that love breaking down the film, saying if you actually watch him, he's actually pretty good in coverage. He just gets, due to his athleticism and athletic ability, they ask him to do a lot more than your typical linebackers. He was actually like, will cover a Jamar Chase in coverage and stuff like that. So, of course, you're going to tend to have high completion percentage against you. But the people I watched said they're not as concerned about that coming to this system. And, we should see on that front. But they're saying he has athleticism to do good coverage and be an all-around linebacker and probably be our starter replacing Jerome Baker. And as far as I know the guy that seems to be most disappointed is everyone seems upset that Van Ginkel left because everyone knows, okay, we weren't going to give Wilkins $27 million a year. What are you going to do? You weren't going to give him that. You can't. Maybe if you were one of these teams flushed with cap space, who knows? But we all know that the Dolphins were not flushed with cap space this year. So you weren't going to. So to me, none of these were like shockers. Van Ginkel, I said, was maybe the one that kind of hurt some people the most. Come to find out, they didn't even offer him a contract. But I don't think they were going to give him $10 million because remember, he was primarily a backup of the Dolphins over the years. Always made an impact when he was here. Really solid contributor. Played linebacker well. Played on the edge well. Always made plays on special teams over the years. Great contributor. Great dude. Great family. But at the end of the day, they chose not to pay him the salary that the Vikings. So he returns back. That's the only thing. That's it. Now I will really concentrate on the players that we did sign and what you guys want moving forward. So after day one of the tampering, whatever you want to call it, I call it legal negotiating because there's no such thing as legal tampering. I know it just gets a word that gets thrown around, a phrase, but the tampering or whatever you want to call it, the negotiation window is what I like to call it. Dolphins did about as well as they could because as of yesterday morning, they were still $20 million over the cap. They managed to rework, as you know all the names of the guys that they reworked. They reworked contracts. They got to the point not only were they cap compliant, they were able to get decent deals done, and they're able to. And I think there's more moves coming where they're going to free up more money. But the question remains is, do they want to go all out for any big names out there left? Or do they want to keep these compensatory picks that they're gathering since we haven't had a lot of draft picks over the past couple years? Right now, and as it stands, we got a couple third round draft compensatory picks with the net loss and all that. But if you go out there and you start signing big name guys, you start losing that. So you got to weigh what you want there. And if you're rebuilding, because next year, again, we're going to be okay with the cap as the contracts stand right now. But remember, that's not counting draft class and Tua's reworked contract and all of that. So we're looking okay for next year. Two big body sports companies have given Dolphins the worst grade for free agency, but I don't think it's that dire. I really don't. ESPN and CBS both gave the Dolphins like their worst draft grades. I'm sorry, Sports Illustrated and ESPN. CBS actually didn't list the Dolphins as one of the worst. Didn't list us as one of the best, but didn't list us. So it was Sports Illustrated and ESPN rated Dolphins the biggest losers yesterday. I don't really know if we're that big of losers. Hey, Adam, big fins up to you and anyone else that snuck into the room I haven't said hi to. X money will be what we use to sign draft class. Plus, yes, this is where we will go for sure. That money doesn't show available yet. If you look at the like the relative cap and all of that in the future on the over the cap stuff. But June 1st, that money becomes free. That's where the definitely, that's what I've been saying all along, Scotty, but you've been saying all along, that money's going to be basically for the draft class. And you can rework other contracts here or cut people still and see. But remember, when you cut, is it really cutting? Because you still got to sign someone for that position if they've been on your team in an active spot whatsoever. So if you cut, you better know you got a cheaper replacement coming in. So you do have to deal with that aspect. But after day one, at least I don't feel like the Dolphins have pigeonholed themselves into having to take a center with the first pick or a guard with the first pick. I think at least Brewer gives you some flexibility in the draft. Now, an edge rusher may be way up there. Defensive tackle, if there's a defensive tackle, there's a thin defensive tackle class from what I've been reading since yesterday. Now that I know for sure, I mean, I knew it for a long time that Wilkins was gone, but until it's official, I, held out a little glimmer that, something would happen. So I would say defensive line, either edge rusher or defensive tackle, because Raycon Davis, maybe you worked, not that he's great, but maybe you reworked something back. But right now, we don't even have him. So defensive tackle raises up the list. Edge rusher raises up the list. I think linebacker, we're actually might be stronger. I know some people don't like Anthony Walker. Some people don't like Jordan Brooks. But I think they're two physical type players that makes plays over the field. And I think they might actually be improvements for the Dolphins. Lo and behold, they might actually be improvements at one position. And I would like to think that Anthony Weaver had some say. I know last year people said that, the Dolphins didn't even give Fangio any power to have any say in who they signed or who they drafted. I would like to hope that these people are working together and that Anthony Weaver says, hey, linebackers like this, this, and this, they can help my team. You never know. That's how I look at it. Yes, Justin of Digging in the Trenches, the Dolphins signed a couple linebackers and an offensive lineman. And that's how it went yesterday. Franklin. Yeah. If I'm autocorrect from lower to low. I'm probably doing an autocorrect jumps to. There you go. What did he? I don't know what you had said earlier. I'm just. Yeah, our guys definitely were paid. We lost a lot of guys to free agency. And I think some of them are overpaid. We've been there many times before where we're overpaid because Wilkins is great, but is he really worth $27 million a year? Is Robert Hunt really worth over $100 million a year? The answer is yes, because that's what the free market dictated. But to a team, is he really going to contribute that much to winning a football game? So that's where it comes, because any contract that's signed is the open market dictates. Those men got that money, but at the end of the day, is Wilkins a $27 million a year football player? Is Robert Hunt worth $100 million on his contract? It's crazy money that he's making like $20 million a year with Robert Hunt. I think he was good, but was he great? Was he a dog? Was he out there, being like a difference maker? He was a very solid. He was a dog. He always played till this year where he got banged up a couple times, but that's a lot of money to play a lineman that hasn't played at all pro level or even a Pro Bowl level. So again, Pro Bowl, it's a popularity contest, but he hasn't. So it's tough, man. It's tough to make those decisions, always to let your players go. It's always going to be tough, but I think they were all expected. Maybe Van Ginkel, like I said, was the guy that could have, what the Dolphins could have kept. I get it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Man, a lot of good. Hey, Jason Stavros, if I screwed up your name, it's not on purpose. We lost eight guys who couldn't win playoff games, couldn't beat the Bills. We're going to be fine. Trust the. I do too. I trust the coach. I know some people in this room, not in my house room, but in the room here in the chat, don't trust Mike McDaniel. I happen to trust Mike McDaniel. I just think, you know, we're going with the flow. We're going to be fine. Anthony Weaver, is going to be a first year defensive coordinator again. There's going to be some bumps along the way. He's been a defensive coordinator 1 year in the NFL, and it didn't go too well. But then that whole staff got fired, and then he's been with Baltimore the past couple of seasons as part of a unit that contributed to the defense performance. So I believe he has the potential to get this team going fine. And obviously, to me, they probably went to him and asked him, are any of these guys that you have to bring back? Do you need Andrew Van Ginkel? Do you need Wilkins? Do you need Xavier Howard? I hope they gave him some of those. And he's like, nah, I'll be fine, because cornerback, that's another position right now that the Dolphins obviously are going to need to fulfill. So there's still a lot of holes on this team. Definitely don't have as strong as a roster as we sit here today on March 12th as we had last year. But tomorrow's the official start of the year. We haven't even hit the official start of the new league year. So it's not time to hit panic yet. If by after the draft, we're still looking weak, maybe we can start hitting the panic button. A lot of popular word yesterday was a soft reset. That was the word that seemed to be the buzz phrase of Twitter yesterday, is soft reset for the Miami Dolphins. That they're going to reset the so anyway, someone distracted me. I don't know what they said. Sorry. But anyway, the sorry, man, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna? Sorry, guys. I'm just blanking for a minute. Yeah, soft reset. Oh, she said soft reset. Okay, my wife came back and told me what she said. She broke my attention span, though. That's what the wives do sometimes. She broke my attention span, but she just was repeating what I said. So they're saying it's like a soft reset of the Miami Dolphins, and I could see it. Because we did have to free up a lot of that cap space, and it helped. It hurt. I mean, it hurt, but in the long term, it could help because we were very heavy against the cap. We had lack of draft picks, so maybe some of these guys leaving, will result in compensatory picks next year, where we can start building this depth back up and not be so top heavy in salaries. That's how I word. Let's see. The panic went from we aren't going to make cap to Greer can't draft, to Greer can't resign his own players. So I don't know if these players signed, so I complain. Well, Scotty, like I said, Greer will be the one guy I pick on from time to time. But due to these circumstances, I'm going to be fair and say he worked it as well as he could. We all knew for the most part we were going to sign these we weren't going to sign them all. We knew that. We were holding out hope maybe one guy would come back, but we know for the most part, most of these guys were gone. But as Jason pointed out, end of the day, none of these guys really got us over to that next edge. Still can't beat Buffalo for the division. Still can't win playoff games. So overall, I'm going to give Greer the benefit of the doubt that he didn't panic, didn't restructure everyone's contract to make one more run at it with these guys. So I get it. Greer does have to step up his game in the drafting process, though. That's the one thing I would still pick on Greer. Because I don't know if Greer's ever drafted. Depends when you give credit to when Greer started getting full power. Has he ever drafted what's considered that someone would say elite player in the NFL draft, not traded for, like Tyreek Hill and Ramsey? I would put them in the elite status, but those were trades. You could say maybe Jalen Phillips could have been twinning toward a top of the edge rusher type guy. Jalen Waddle could be, maybe. He's not elite yet, but he's really, really good. And, Javon Holland shown flashes, but I don't think he's ever drafted what I would consider him. When I say elite, I mean like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey as Dolphins examples. Patrick Mahomes, yes. I know that's way over the top, But I mean, Josh Allen, I would say, is up there in that. So have we ever drafted a game-changing player? Now, Devon A-Chain had the running back last year, was showing flashes that he was going to be a huge hit. Unfortunately, he got hurt and wasn't quite the same after coming back from hurt. But hopefully, coming into next year, he's a healthy guy and he can be like one of those players that just a really big impact type guys. I've moved Chop Robinson up for a 21 pick down, especially if we don't touch Chubb's contract. Yes, I agree. And Chubb's, I mean, we don't even know when Chubb's going to come back. That's another tough spot. Just like we don't even know when Jalen Phillips is going to be coming back healthy. He might be there at the start of the year, but Achilles are a tricky beast. If you follow that injury over the years of players coming back from them, it takes a long time and everyone recovers different. Is he going to have that same burst that he had? Is he going to have the confidence to press off it and all of that? I think he will have the confidence. He's a big superhero looking guy. If you were going to make a comic book superhero, you'd make him look like Jalen Phillips, basically. So hopefully he gets back out in the field because he was really emerging. It's a shame. He may have hit the 15 for 15 for you, Scotty, if he hadn't gotten hurt. But unfortunately, he got hurt in a non-contact play. It's football. It just happens, unfortunately. It's sports. And that was because no one works harder than that dude. So that was really hurtful to see. Now the Dolphins have got to decide, do they put a fifth-year option on both Jalen Waddle and the two Jalen Phillips? So those are two decisions that we have to make. I would tend to say, yes, you pick up their fifth-year options because they're going to be going into their fourth year now. So just like with Tua going into his fourth year, we had to pick up his fifth-year option. This is how it's going to work for Jalen Phillips and Jalen Waddle. Do we pick up their fifth-year options? I would think yes, or they rework their contract and see if they can do that. Try to get ahead of the game on that curve there. We won't be rushing players back based on our history. And if Phillips is back on the field, it would be a good sign. I agreed on that. Hooked up, Joe. I agree on that. I'm hearing bad things about Connor Williams. Still don't understand why some went back to ACL tears, 27 years old, snapping issues, ACL worse than originally, will miss significant games. Yes, Scotty. But at the end of the day, he was pretty much a highly rated center. Maybe they can get him back on the cheap due to the injury. And, he was good when he played. Yes, he had the snapping issues, but he was also very adept at blocking post snap. So we will see. But like I said, to top the show, I really like the Aaron Brewer signing. I know I've listened to a couple talk shows now, such as my own little fun show here. I heard people on the Miss Finn show, some of them don't like the signing. I understand it because if you look at numbers and you say, oh, he gave up second most pass pressures in the NFL. I get it. That's concerning. I'm not going to say it's not concerning. But he played all the games last year. He played all the games the year before, even though he split between in 2022. He excuse me. He played a couple positions. So I like the signing. I really do. I might be overblowing it. He might stink. I'm trying to be positive here today, trying to be a positive take because you got to throw away the guys we lost. That's it. They're gone. There's no fishing them back. They are gone for now unless they get cut by someone else down the future and they close out their career for the Dolphins. But for now, they are not part of our equation. So you got to look at the names we brought in. And due to the certain sense of the cap, I'm not really that mad with the names that they brought in. One thing I have not studied yet, guys, because I was more studying all these guys that we brought in. I haven't really studied the restructured contracts of the guys that we restructure and see how much of it is really a help or is it just putting that credit card bill, like paying the minimum payment again and kicking the interest down the road and the principal down the road. of those contract restructures. Scotty, if you've looked into it, I know you looked into all that. You can tell me how much we've restructured and just put step down the road, or does it really free up money for the future as well? That would be interesting to know on that front. But for now, I would give Greer kudos where he deserves it. For what we had coming into this situation, he's managed it as well as expected. But it's an incomplete grade. We still got to see what we do in the rest of free agency. Remind you, as I said, we haven't even hit the official league start of the year yet, so there's no reason to panic. It's going to be interesting to see because to me, his grade is going to really fall on the draft this year. If we just stand pat, I'm not going to assume trade up, not going to assume trade down. If we just stand pat, those first two picks of the draft have got to be contributors. I've said it on this show several times over the past couple of weeks. I don't care what position. We get into that after all this free agent frenzy stuff. But whatever position it is, he has that man, whoever they pick in the first round, better come in and be a starter and solid contributor to the 2024 Miami Dolphins. Second round pick, I know it gets, each round progressively gets harder to nail a stud, but the Dolphins have put themselves in a position where they have to nail that second round pick. And that's why, even though I'm not talking about the trade, I wouldn't be opposed to a little bit of a trade back in one of those rounds to accumulate more picks in a solid draft because we got the first, we got the second, no third, and no fourth. And we don't pick again for almost 100 picks later I think one over 100 picks later. I think we pick at 155 and don't pick again until like 156. Sorry, guys, I'm still battling the remnants of the cold. Greer has been using void years for all restructures so far. Okay, there you go. Yep. Thanks for all the guys being team players and restructuring. Yes, Franklin, and of course, some of them are getting the moolah and guaranteed type stuff and more, and signing bonus. But yes, they didn't have to restructure and they helped us out. Greer must have known that all along. Because I'm like, what's he doing? Why is he waiting until the last minute? He must have known. Tyreek Hill sent out messages yesterday. Guys, don't be worrying. Don't be worrying. Let me tell you, Chris Greer has a big bag of Stephen Ross's money in his office. And then lo and behold, all of a sudden Ramsey, Bing, Reward, and all the other guys that got, they call Teron Armstead a restructure. So is it really a restructure or is it just money kicked down the road? That's why I haven't even seen his numbers, Scotty, if you've seen it. That one I didn't see. Good morning, Dolphin Thirsty and fam. Hey, Dolphin Don, big fins up to you. Thank you for coming into the room. So, well, I know a lot of the shows may focus on doom and gloom. This Finn's kind of had a positive spin on it, at least somewhat too. So that was good to see. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But for the most part, I think yesterday went about as well as can be expected on the day that you basically knew a lot of those names would be gone. Brandon Jones kind of surprised me that he got the bag from the Broncos. But, so we do need to do some help. There's a lot of needs as we sit here today, one day before the official start of the new year. So it's not time to panic. But yes, there's a lot of positions of need. We need help at safety, corner, defensive tackle, edge. Still need help along the offensive line. Still need a third receiver. I think our tight end room is basically set. That's one position. We know our quarterback starter set. Backup, who knows what they're going to do with the Mike White contract. I'm surprised that he's actually haven't tried to rework his or just didn't get rid of him. But we will see, because I thought maybe they would rework his contract to free up a little bit of money. He likes being here in Miami, and we will see on that front over the next few days, maybe. or as of right now, we're still cap compliant. But if you want to sign anyone else, they're going to have to start freeing up a little bit more money. So it'd be interesting to see on that front who they go. Yeah, I agree. So we can still win. It's a soft reset. We can still win this year. And just remember, guys, how many years have we been the winners of free agency? And everyone's saying, "Oh my God, the Dolphins won free agency," and then we draft a lot of guys, and they think, "Oh my God, we're going." And then the regular season comes around, and we don't get it done. Maybe this year, where everyone's calling us the free agency losers so far, maybe we turn the tables and actually, have a good story next year. And I know the AFC is going to be tough next year. You got Joe Burrow coming back. Cleveland Browns, there's a lot of people way too early sleeper pick to maybe knock off the Browns. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are the people way too early sleeper pick to knock off the Chiefs in the AFC. You still got the Ravens in that division. That division's probably the toughest in football. You got Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh. That's a whatever. I always liked Russell Wilson more than it seems like other people. The Broncos obviously overpaid for him, that's for sure. But the man has played in 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them. So, and Pittsburgh always tends to make the playoffs. So that could be a move. So it is going to be a battle royal to make the wild card. To me, the goal is to win the AFC East, which it should be every year for all of us as fans, and the teams always want to win that division. You got Buffalo having their own cap issues. They managed to sign a lot of their guys back, though. I give them kudos for that. No, you're true. I love being the underdogs. That's it. You're right. That's not to take a pay cut. I don't make sense. Makes sense. Don't. No, you're right. And then tend to know in the open market that they probably don't want to take a pay cut. And big Xavier and Xavier, I almost combined two names. Xavier Howard, he is basically out the door if you listen to him talk. He says that door is closed. So he's gone. But some of these other guys, could you still technically bring back if the market doesn't bear what they think it's going to bear? You could bring them back for sure. And then they could end up coming back with less money. But they wanted to probably test that market first and see. And I understand it's a pride issue. You don't want to take less money than what you thought you were going to be making. I get it. I understand it. I wouldn't want to take less money too for doing the same job I've been doing, especially if I think I've done it well enough. So I understand. I understand. It doesn't matter. It's all relative. My job may be in the thousands. These guys are in the millions, but it's all relative as far as money. So I get it. You don't want to take that pay cut. Who does? From Green Bay. I love being them. Green Bay. Do you guys like the Green Bay moves? They sign Jacobs, but then they get rid of Jones. Is that really a big upgrade? That's what they were questioning today on the NFL Network. They were saying, I understand, yeah, Jacobs might be a year or two younger, but is he really any better than Aaron Jones? Was it necessary to make that move? Now, Aaron Jones, I think I heard, I was getting my show ready, but I think I heard he went to the Vikings already. So these guys, a lot of guys staying within the divisions around the league, because I know Barkley went from the Giants to the Eagles. So running backs are getting some love, guys. It's been said that the running back position's dead in the NFL. No one values it. But some of all the big moves yesterday, a lot of them were running backs. So the running backs made the comeback yesterday. They ran back into the picture, and they got some kudos across the league. Henry's still out there. Dolphin fans are banging the table for him. I just don't see it coming. But if he does, I say welcome to Miami. But I don't even see any official stories linked to him. I've seen some teams offering him money, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't believe it until the big boys tweeted out that he signed somewhere, because I could make up a story today saying, "Oh, Henry wants to be a Dolphin," and people would buy into it probably if I had a name behind it. But you know what I'm saying, guys. We will see. But running backs, it was nice to see running backs get some love yesterday. I don't know if that's more of a a testament to the draft's not deep in running backs this year, so they wanted to get their running backs via free agency. Or is there a trend that we're going to start seeing more teams pound the rock coming into the future and want more balanced attack? Because we've been a very pass happy league over the past several years. So are they going to change? And they want these running backs. It'd be interesting to see. And guys, if you see any moves, because I do not pay attention to any other social media when I'm in here, because you guys are my focus and talking about the Dolphins. So if you guys, I know I can trust you to tell the truth. So if any of you guys see any news of happening today, that's anyone signing or any new deals that come out, let me know. Or lawyers told NFL owners to stop colluding against running backs. Hey, you never know. You never know, Scotty. That's a good point. It is a good point. But it was good to see them get some love yesterday because, the running back was always getting kind of pushed to the side. Guys, another thing that you guys need to push those thumbs up for me if you just get a second. It's free and it tells people you found me. Whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, let those algorithms know that you hit that thumbs up. Overall, though, like I said, and let's not forget John New Smith, Nick Needham, Tavar Marmstead, restructure. So these are all names that we had already before yesterday that we had already talked about doing. So we have helped this franchise somewhat, and it will be interesting to see over the next few days if there's any reworked contracts or anything else. It could either be a sign that, okay, maybe they're on their way to get someone else. Because we have a little bit of cap money after yesterday's moves and everything, but it's a very small amount. You're not going to shake the earth with what the Dolphins have left. And I am of the belief, I think they're keeping the compensatory picks in mind. I know I don't know what the magic formula for how they decide, but I know it's based on contract size, on the compensatory picks. So if you lose this much, but you gain this much, then you don't get as much. But if you lose a lot, then you get more compensatory picks. I don't know the exact formula, but I don't know if the Dolphins are keeping that in mind, or is it something that we keep in mind, or do they operate like, wow, right now we got compensatory picks and we have more cap space going to next year. We have more picks going to next year. We can rebuild this thing again. So that'd be interesting to know how they act over the next days as far as subtractions and additions. I think all the big subtractions, as far as big contracts off the Dolphins, are basically done because the guys that we cut, they don't count, because we just cut them. So when it's not compensatory pick stuff like that, we let Howard go, we let Baker go on our own accord, even though they were under contract. So maybe the Dolphins can bring in guys like that have been cut. That's why John New Smith was a good pickup. He was released from his contract, wasn't a pending free agent. So Baba Boone, you bring him in. So maybe they look for more guys that are getting released by other teams for either cap reasons or they're strong at a certain position and need to go get another position. So I would look at those type moves. But as far as big free agents, it'd be interesting to see how they take it. That's what I'm thinking. And I think these linebackers signed yesterday kind of shows that you're not going queen. Because both Jordan Brooks and Anthony Walker have been starters in this league. Yes, Anthony Walker's missed time, but if you go back and look at his football reference, not looking at stats or anything, I was just looking at games. Almost every game he's played, he's been a starter. Anthony Walker. I always want to say Anthony Weaver. So if I say Anthony Weaver when I'm talking about the linebacker, you really know I'm talking about Anthony Walker, the linebacker. So he, when healthy, he's been a starter. Jordan Brooks has played a lot of football. And he's a solid player, first round pedigree. So I think he can come in and help this ball club as well. So overall, I'm actually not that bad. I know a lot of people are mad. I'm not that mad at yesterday. Of course, it's always going to hurt when some of your favorite players walk out the door. But that's just the cycle of the NFL. It's going to happen. I understand it. I've gotten used to it, so yep, we didn't restructure or actually now gone. We haven't touched Hill or Chubb this year. That's a greater tale. Yeah, you're right. But Chubb, I think they're afraid to touch because I think, if I'm not mistaken, can't they get out of Chubb's contract pretty easy after this year? Isn't it how it breaks down? So if we restructure, you're probably make it a bigger window to where you can get rid of him. I know you're into that contract stuff even more than I am, Scotty. But from what I've been hearing that, like, if you don't touch Chubb's contract this year, you can basically walk away with him pretty soon if it doesn't work out. Obviously, you want him to work out and you want him to be here and you want him producing, getting sacks, contributing to the Dolphins winning football games. But if it doesn't work out, you got that option of walking away sooner than later. Yep. That's what I was thinking. That's why maybe they're hesitant about those restructures. I've been prepping myself for months to lose Wilkin Hunt and AVG. Yeah, same here, Scotty. And Brandon Jones, I don't know if any of us were really too distraught. I like Brandon Jones, and over the years, he was a solid football player for this team. I never want to diminish people's contributions to the football team, especially when Flores and Boyer's defensive style. He was a really good fit in that defense. And hey, Jamaican from Zion, big fins up to you. But those guys all got first day deals. They are no longer Dolphins. That's why I say I don't think there's anyone else out there that I'm missing that's going to be like a Dolphin big loss. The Band-Aid was ripped off yesterday, guys. The Band-Aid was ripped off yesterday, so we're doing okay. Yep. Well, easier said than done, Franklin Subs, when you say draft a Hill replacement. The guy's an all-pro. He is going to that. Chubb, as much as I didn't like the Chubb trade, I have to admit he was playing well, other than his knucklehead penalty against the Titans, which I will hold a grudge on forever. That's just how I roll. But other than that, Chubb was starting to play well, having a great, not starting, he was playing well all year, making me think, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been so harsh on the Chubb trade. He got hurt. That's football. That's no fault of his. No fault of anyone at this point. Things are forgiven. Doesn't matter. He was in the game late. Doesn't matter. He got hurt. ACL may have gone out at some point the next game. It's just, that's how football is. It just was painful to see at the end of that game because it was such a bad game as it was already. Chubb in the first and Chop in the first, BB in the second, and move from Chubb next season. Hey, morning flavor Jay. Big fins up to you. Big fins up to you as well. So you like Chop over the Latu. I don't want to say his other name. I'm probably Latu. I'm probably already screwing it up. I know how to write it. I just don't know how to say it. So I guess you like him more because I see a lot of mock drafts having the Dolphins get Latu. Like I say, I'm probably screwing it up, but you know who I'm talking about. No, okay. So you don't think Latu makes it to 21? Okay, that's fair enough. I see a lot of mock drafts having him fall there, but you're right. No one really knows where any of these people are going to fall because I'm still wondering if, even with the signing yesterday, if some of these offensive linemen fall, like everyone's favorite draft pick of the moment was the Jackson Powers kid, Jackson Powers Johnson. Everyone, he was a flavor of the moment for a long time in Dolphin land. But that's just because the signing of Brewer yesterday, does that really eliminate that as a possibility? I don't think so, because again, you got position versatility at those guys. Either one of them could probably come in and play guard or center. So you still have that option on the table if he falls through 21. So there's a lot of options out there. But I would right now and say edge or defensive tackle And I kind of side with Scotty saying that edge is probably the better value at 21 in the draft. So we will see there. Yeah, I agree that Scott JPJ is probably going before. I agree. But I'm just saying if he would fall, is he still a possibility? And I would think the answer is yes. Let's see. Waddle could be one if given the chance. Let's see. No, yeah, I think it could be one. I agree. Waddle could be. Yeah, everyone seems to think. I tend to think that too, and I think Frazier would be gone by the second round. So there is that. So if the Dolphins, that's why I think the Dolphins went and got themselves yesterday. Um, went and got Aaron Brewer again. I'm a little bit higher on him than a lot of Dolphin fans seem to be. But I think he could actually be a good fit for our offense from what I read on him. And I know I've mentioned this guy before, Cal Brooks. Cal Krabs was on Joe Rose this morning and talked high about him. Then I went and watched some of his breakdown. And way before the draft, to his credit, he had Brewer as the number one center free agent target of the Miami Dolphins for style and fit. That's what he had said prior to us signing him in the free agent period. He said that Aaron Brewer was his number one when he had his Dolphin free agency blueprint. He calls it every year. And he had Brewer as his number one target on the interior line. And lo and behold, the Dolphins went out and got him. So he was happy, of course. So he might be a little higher on him than a lot of people because he called it. He called his shot before it happened. So kudos to him for recognizing Brewer as a potential Dolphin fit. And, it turned out to be true. And Dolphins signed him on day one of the negotiation window. So good job by Kyle Krabs. And he likes him. Like you said, he gets down the field. He does admit he can be beaten by a bull rush and quick moves at time as far as giving up quarterback pressures. But he thinks it's something that can be worked on, and he's a good scheme fit for the Dolphins. So there you go. That's what I won't talk anymore. I know I've been a little too high on my Aaron Brewer this morning, probably, but I need some optimism because to me, it's just at this point, you just got to move on from the guys we lost and talk about the guys we brought in. And the guys we brought in can help this team. And that's the end of the day. The big three guys we brought in yesterday, Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker, and Aaron Brewer, they can all contribute to the 2024 Dolphins. You could basically, if you combine all their salaries, that could have been one good player that everyone would have been like, "Ooh, he brought in." I'd rather get the more solid signings, fill out more of the middle depth quality players than just a couple big names, and then have like names that you go all the way down here if you need to be called upon during the season. So I often think depth is overlooked in the NFL. You look how we had a deep edge group last year. We had Chubbs, we had Phillips, we had Ogba, and we had Andrew Van Ginkel that could all fill in if something happened. And you know what? Chubb went down, Phillips went down, and AVG, went down in the last game, and he couldn't play in the playoff game, and we were signing guys off the street. So almost no matter what position, you could say it with receivers, cornerbacks. You can never have enough offensive linemen, never have enough defensive linemen, never have enough cornerbacks. It's just what it is, man. You need quality depth throughout the roster, which is not easy to do. It's not. Believe me, you're not going to have all pros at every spot to start and have Pro Bowls as a backup. That's not a realistic goal, but a realistic goal is to have quality NFL caliber players ready in the wings if one of your top flight players get hurt. That's what you need to do. I also think we're now considered trading up, knowing where to get comp picks to supplement picks you give up next draft. That's true, as long as they keep that formula in mind and they don't go out and sign some big name free agent over the next day or two. So that is something to keep an eye on. So because I said right now we're looking pretty good on that. Let's see. Just techniques he should work 2 week on Brewer. Yeah. Hey, I think there we go. I think we could do that either way, Scotty. We could move up, we could move down, or we could stand pat. I know that's no brain brain surgery there. No take. It's just really I would rather wait until draft night to decide. I don't like pre-day draft. I like seeing how the board falls before because so many times now teams trade up before they even know how the board falls. I like draft night trades. See how the board falls. And if it's someone that getting within your window, you're like, oh my God, he's still there. He's still there. Let me go up and get him. Then go up and get him. Or if you're like, oh my God, so many guys are still here at 21, and this team is bringing my phone off the hook and is giving me a good draft haul to just drop back a few spaces, then by all means do that. But make sure you got a few guys you like when you trade back. You don't want to lose a guy you really want. If the guys you really want's there and you're afraid if you trade back, that guy is going to be gone, then don't do it. Just stay there. Take that guy. So that's how I look at it. So it's so many things to weigh. Would Chase Young be a good fit with us for the right price? Hey, anyone at the right price, of course, would be a good fit, especially since we need, like I say, I'm really worried about him in our second. Wilkins, let's see. Wilkins and Hunt should get us third rounders. I can see our third best next year in 21 move up. Hey, well said. Well said. Would Shake be a good? Yes, I think so. Timothy, I think so. Like I say, I don't think there's anyone that they're going to rule out or rule in at this point where they are in the building process. So I think that's a name I hadn't even thought of with the Dolphins. And is he? I don't even know where is he now. Is he? Did they cut him? Yeah, I know he had gone. I don't even know what his latest contract status is or anything. So I gotta see. Oh well. So if you guys can tell me, I know Clowney's out there for the taking again. I believe. I don't even know what the status of Chase Young is right now. Is he a free agent, guys? Was he cut? Or is he still on the? I don't even know what his status is. I'll be honest. That's not even a name I thought of in relation to the Miami Dolphins. Because I know he was on the 49ers last, but other than that, so I don't know. I don't know where he's so Franklin is Chase Young, a free agent. That's a name I hadn't really thought of. Or is he still on would you have to trade for him to from the 49ers? That's why I say I don't even know what his status is. So because I know he went from Washington to the 49ers, but after that, I don't even know what his status is. Hey, James London. No, I know. That's what I was saying. I'm trying to say, let's not worry about the panic. I agree. That's why I'm trying to be positive as possible. We do have a lot of holes to fill, but the the league year hasn't even officially started until tomorrow. So it's no reason to panic yet. There's no reason to panic yet. I understand some people's thoughts. I get it. Whenever you lose the amount of solid players we lost yesterday, it hurts. I get it because we all get emotionally attached to the players that's on our team, and I get it. But overall, there's still a lot of action to be had over the next couple months, guys, not just a couple weeks, over the couple months. Because after the frenzy or the big names fall off the free agent board, sometimes you get some of the best guys that can come in on bargain contracts, not hurt your compensatory formula, and you can sign guys. You can sign guys that get cut after the draft by their teams because they no longer want to go with the veteran. They want to go with the younger guy, and you can bring in a veteran that's been cut, which won't mess with the compensatory formula. So still a lot of ways to build this roster to where it can be competitive. My only fear is that the whole AFC is going to be very competitive this year. Buffalo's in a little bit of a cap thing, so maybe this is a year we can step up and take the division two, but they still got Aaron Rodgers and all their guys, so they're not going to be an easy Aaron Rodgers. They still got Allen and the Jets still have Aaron Rodgers, but so and he's coming back. He's going to be healthy, so I don't know for how long. And then the Jets signed a Dolphin killer as their backup, Tyrod Taylor. The Jets signed, and he has a tendency whenever he plays the Dolphins, he looks like an all-pro quarterback. I don't know why, but the Dolphins must have done something to him in the past because he always balls out against the Dolphins, it seems like. I know the last time maybe not as much, but over the years, he killed us for whatever reason. I don't get it. But, Allen of Buffalo, like I said, he's a beast. He can just, he can just take over games. So Buffalo's not going anywhere anytime soon. But to me, it is the Dolphins' years to have to step up and win this division. We had the division this year and we blew it. So that was tough. And I can't wait for the schedule release. Teams are just both are. I can't believe Stone went to the Bengals. Let's see. Thanks, Scotty. I saw it, but I'm curious to see why at the moment we don't have any health edge run replays. I can't believe Stone went there. I see. I'm trying to. Teams are not. I saw something one of you guys said. Okay, here it is. This is where I saw. Young Izzy free agent, I believe. He was a rental for San Francisco. All right. Thank you, Scotty. That's what I was looking for. So thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can get him on the cheap, you know what? By all means, go and get him. But I don't know if you're going to because edge rushers is kind of a need. So we will see. It'll be interesting, man. Clowney has been linked to the Dolphins almost every time he's been a free agent. The man always seems to be a free agent, even though he was like the number one overall pick. He just never seems to stay somewhere. So it'd be interesting on that front as well. And doesn't look like we've nabbed any of the Ravens, like we all think every year, oh, we're going to bring this guy, because Weaver's here now. Most of the time, it doesn't work out. We did bring a lot of Patriots over the years when Flores was here, but it's, he was the head coach, so he has a little more pull. And, like I said, Mike McDaniel did bring in some 49ers, but again, he's the head coach, so he has a little more pull on who comes onto the roster. In my opinion, I don't think Will would demand a lot of money. Yeah, let me see what he's done over the past few years. He has 16 and a half career sacks. The most sacks he's ever had in a season was his rookie year, 7.5, and then in 2023. All right, so there you go. He had 5 sacks with the Redskins, 2.5 with the 49ers last year. So, and then he's missed some time. So that's where you go on that. In 2020, he played 15 games, started 15 of them, but then he only played 9 games in 2021, only 3 games in 2022. But last year, he played 16 games, only starting 6 of them, though. And most of those were once he got to where he became a backup going to San Francisco. So there's that. So it's interesting. So I would take Clowney or Young as a stopgap without hesitation. Thanks for the show, guys. Enjoy your day. Hey, Franklin, yeah, I'm almost out of here. Guys, if you haven't done so already, nail those thumbs up. I like to say throw a Dan Marino laser past at the thumbs up. Just don't break your cell phone or your computer. their thumbs up, but in Dolphin land, we always know it's really fins up because you guys rock. You come in here all the time. I appreciate it. There's a million options out there for you guys to watch Dolphin stuff. So for you coming in here today, I super appreciate it. Thank you guys all. And if you guys want to have an open panel show tonight on the Fins Talk Sports Network, Steve Malloy and I will try to be keeping it calm. Always with Steve, it's not always a guarantee to keep it calm and rational. Just kidding, Steve, if you watch the after view. I know you're busy with your grandchildren today, but I'm looking forward to our show tonight over there. Hey, Dolphin Don. Yes, it's going to be an interesting week. I'm just waiting for the draft. Same here, Dolphin Don. I think everything slows down for us until the draft. Then we backfield in second wave of free agency. Yes, Scotty, that's probably the best way to go about it, especially when you're strapped against a cap. I agree. But it's also not a bad way to operate. There's good teams that have operated that year after year, like all these teams that we know how many years the Miami Dolphins have won free agency, like I said earlier in the show. And then what does it result? It still results in no playoff wins. So sometimes the bigger moves can come in with the less light on it. You just kind that good, solid player. It may even be special teams contributor because as we know, our return units weren't great last year. The Buffalo return basically cost us the division. I say, because we were getting some momentum in that game and we allowed this guy to take it to the house. So you just get enough guys to come in and be better coverage teams. Maybe Danny Crossman's not the horrible special teams coach we all make him out to be. I know we brought back Jake Bailey. That didn't sit well. But, at the end of the day, we were going crazy over a punter. So no reason to do that, guys. There's no reason to get in our feelings over a punter. It is what it is. He's coming back. He's going to be our punter. Yeah, he had some skank. Oh, that's a bad one. Shank. He had he shanked a couple, and it is what it is. And he did not have one. He was down there in the end of your average punt, but he's coming back. So just get used to Jake Bailey being the holder for our kicker. There you go. And hopefully we don't have to use him on punts too often this year. That our offense comes back pretty much intact. I think we have to add maybe some receiver, but I think we've added a good threat in John Newsmith. I think he could be the under the radar type signing. I think he could be a good fit. And for a tight end, he's fast. We know the Dolphins like fast. And I think, he could be a good pickup for the Dolphins. So there's some hope. I actually like this so far this offseason. It's not the end all be all like we signed the big names and we, got A pluses today by all the gurus that decide to rate these things and grade these things 1 minute after before they even see how they are for a fit for the team. But hey, it's okay. As Dolphin fans, we've been through a lot. We're going to get through this and we're going to be back rooting for our team before you know it. So it's all good, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. It does hurt losing those players. I do get that. Yeah, James, you're right. That's what I say. It hurts. But at the end of the day, we didn't get it done with them. Not saying we're better without them. Don't try to say I'm saying that. But the simple fact is, time to move on. Let's embrace the new moves coming up. We finally have a first-round pick for Mike McDaniel. This will be the first draft he's been head coach that we actually have a first-round pick. So let's see. Let's have some hope there. We can get cheaper talent there. I'm going to be curious to see if they pick up fifth-year options on Jalen Phillips and Jalen Waddle. It would be interesting to see those numbers as well as far as going against next year's salary cap. So that should be all good. Every team cuts players, though. We can't be like an episode of Hoarders and keep everything overpaying fan faves. We way overpaid X and paying the penalty now. No, you are right, Dolphin Don. You are right, man. As cruel as that may sound, Dolphin Don, you are 100% right. We cannot let feelings get in the way, and these owners and general managers definitely can't let their feelings get in their way. I just don't really know if Wilkins is worth $27.5 million. I can't say worth because he is. That's what the open market paid. So I hate using that term. But was he a good fit for the Dolphins at $27.5 million a year? The answer is no. But is he worth it? Yes, because all it takes is one team to offer you that much money, and then you're worth that much money. Now, if he goes out and plays like it, more power to him, just as long as he doesn't do it against our Miami Dolphins. On a side note, for Raider fans out there that would, for whatever reason, in the wacky world of internet, find this show, you guys are going to have two of the premier trash-talking defensive front guys in the history of football combined together, Crosby and Wilkins. The trash talk that's going to be between those two players aren't even going to want to listen. They're going to want earplugs in if they could after the play, after the snap count. They're going to want to put earplugs in, listening to those guys talk trash. But anyway, so you Raider fans that find that, you got two of the premier trash talkers of the NFL on your team. Kudos to you. As long as there's a cap, that's what we got to do. Oh, yeah, poor choice of words. I apologize. No, it's all, hey, it is what it is, man. Hey. Later, guys. Big fins up. Buffalo just cut all. Yeah, they did, man. They did. Buffalo cut a lot of guys, too. That's why it's going to be very – I know they got Josh Allen. So it's like a kind of – you don't want to rule them out yet. I know Josh Allen may not get it done all in the playoffs, and we pick on him. But that man is still a beast out there at quarterback. And, so maybe they're still a step ahead of us, but they did lose a lot of guys. So I know one of them re-signed, a few of them re-signed with them, but yes, they cut a lot of guys just outright too. So that's what happens when you got those windows you pay and try to win, and teams just have to go. No, I know every year is awesome. I'm just saying he's good. I wouldn't say he's good. As much as it pains me to say as a Dolphin fan, Josh Allen plays well. And maybe I'm a little biased because I see him. He always seems to beat the Dolphins. So that's what kills me. He's only lost like 2 games against the Dolphins in all those tries. So it's just, and one of them was his rookie year. Then one was in 2022. So maybe I just feel like Josh Allen is a superstar because he always finds a way to beat my team. But hey, it is what it is, right, guys? We're still Dolphin fans. Hit those thumbs up on your way out, either on Facebook or YouTube. I appreciate it. A lot of you guys came in here today. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day. And we will be talking all things Miami Dolphins before you know it once again. Later, guys. Fins up, thumbs up. You guys rock.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won, for all things Miami.